I'm back. The Movie Club Movies podcast. I'm JustinJustin, the human popcorn box, and I'm back from a long break, but it was a beneficial break. So much to talk about. I've got to experience so many more movies. I am sitting on a stack of podcasts to record. This one in particular, I'm probably on my 6th set of recording things. It's been a while. I can tell you that I rolled into technical difficulties, I rolled into financial difficulties in the times we're in now, and I had to take several step backs. I also had to focus on what was most important and my priorities in order to make ends meet, and I'm vegetarian. So again, this is one of these recordings that I didn't think I'd be recording it for this long, but I'm having to step back into it and hopefully get to the completion. I'm really happy to be back, and I've done a lot of work on graphics and sort of the characters and things going on in the podcast and the episode covers and what's available in our merch shop. So always be sure to check out tpublic.com/users/TMCMS for the freshest in graphics. Also, please take care of yourself. Stay hydrated. I really hope that you enjoyed not only this episode, but the ones to come, and I'm going to do my best to another shout out. Thank you to the Phantom World Traveler that donated, sent out this wonderful professional microphone, and we're going to have to deal with it for a couple more episodes of getting the right volume down and the right situation. Just every time I've recorded with this, just seems, oh, there he goes, just seems like a new experience, and I'm trying to find that middle ground, but it's a complex microphone when it comes down to home recording. Are you guys ready to continue this wigged out, creepy episode? Let's go. His wife, don't talk to me like that. Her burned out husband, why can't I? Disgusted, just garbage pail kid, volcano head, top bust. Cut his dialogue, get him out of here. Remember when Elaine on Seinfeld had a recovering addict who was cold turkey and she took care of him? I think they had just broken up, so she stuck around with him as he went cold turkey on whatever he was addicted to. Not her drunk heckler date, who was a former disco singing actor from A Werewolf in London. Not that guy. This is another guy. I don't even know if you really see him. She had a breakup, probably in a earlier episode, that was hard drugs related. I think even Jerry had an intervention for the friend or acquaintance. Anyway, that's the vibe I'm getting as this couple talks to each other. Johan, meanwhile, catches the awkward bug. I'm sorry, I'll be right back. Sylvia DJing dick. Don't expect me to wait up for you. I don't like cold Chinese food. Hey guys on Notice she didn't order shrimp cocktail, bruh. Notice me. Notice these lines. Johan, duty is more important than friends. Are we valuing how serious this is and how on top Johan is? Sylvia, duty is yours, house is mine, and in my house, shrimps are more important. Zing! Whip it into shape. The pants worn in this house speaking with clarity and openness to support. This is my house, leave. And this is a client get-together she has put together, and this dirtball has stanked on Adrian and Marg's apartment, and now is sulking in his film ad writing failures, this dope fiend. Money for dope, money for a house in the NY area, a wife, a dresser full of red sweaters. Get dressed, get some self-respect, or just leave. Yeah, this is the couple with the doped up husband. Yeah, let's go. Get out. Red Sparrow leaves the room to go to the kitchen where a house party bar is laid out, and Steve, we get his name. She places his hand on her cheek and neck and asks for a drink. Steve calls her husband a near Neanderthal. Steve calls her husband a Neanderthal man. Meanwhile, again, these scenes are just cutting. We're back to Adrian is at a yellow-lit liquor store. It is such a clear, well-organized wall of alcohol, and the price labels are about the size of a square-shaped paper, reflecting the golden hour lighting. Best description I can give, reminds me of Uncle Bernie's office Inside Out. That is a shout out to a deep cut of the podcast. Check out the mini-sode of Side Out on the Movie Club Movies podcast. Johan has a chance to warn Adrian she doesn't like small talk from strangers. Got something to say? Spit it out. Adrian is on street talking mode because she is defensive, calling him a copper man. Adrian has us stuck in a trap of vocabulary. Adrian has us stuck in a trap of vocabulary and confusion because Johan heard her say invasion, as in breaking down her door for drugs. So she passes him by with a fuck off, man. The liquid sky is a sundown red in transition, as if a red dust comet swept by. And remember that we're still seeing this UFO shape, and we're getting these transitions of a psychedelic, pattern on the screen, but it's also just warping the chemical and the intergalactic vibe going on, along with all of these characters. Our husband dope user has appeared a red-faced demon in front of Marg as she applies her signature style of makeup in a mirror. He mocks, and how the fudge did he get in the door? Yeah, at this point, this is one of the wildest edits because it just goes right into Margaret's apartment, a very intimate moment because she's just getting ready as any of us can do. And all of a sudden, the most stranger of stranger guys, just a guy who bought dope from Adrian earlier, he's back in the house. But we're just partying with him and his wife. So that edit is wild. Trigger warning, trigger warning. Be careful, y'all. Trigger warning. Margaret has no dope. He's there for her. He wants to entertain her and show her the difference between men and women. He's a sicko and violator, predator. She does think he can get it up. She doesn't think he can get it up. And he can come when she wants. And she will not be coming for him. She's not calling him over. Seems to me too many men are telling me what I want. Yeah, amen, girl. It's most every person I interact with, except the podcast. She is repellent. She is repelling him. He is touching her face and beginning to take her over. She is saying all the right things and tripping over her lines. Make me sick. You won't be junkie. Lost in my audio transfer, I get what she's saying. I recognize some social cues and body language. My God, she's unattractive right now. Get it, hubby? Get out. Sick pig, I don't need your... And it's almost like a Wu-Tang censor punch, like... All of this could be too much. Watch the movie for the true artistry because it's a heavy scene, but it's being filmed. And have I gotten into that documentary I watched, which again I will highlight. Please check this documentary out, The Making of Liquid Sky. It's on YouTube. It came out just a few years ago when I was writing this podcast. It's been that long. What a process. But in that they just talk about that it is kind of a heavy at moments movie, and it deals with a heavy drug use theme, but doesn't really glamorize it or show it. I do think it shows the effects of drug use and also they were creatives and artists themselves. Of course, we talk about the lead actress and what an artist she was in her personal life, and dancer and club goer and fashion icon, fashion creative, what have you. She would have been definitely some sort of influencer today, but also that they were adding to the script as they went, and things that got heavy, they were all supportive. That was a group effort, and they enjoyed the theatrics of the drama of things, and I'm gonna respect that. And I really enjoyed hearing that insight, especially when you're dealing with, even if it was serious music or serious creatives or serious drug use, serious sickness, and things like that. It's interesting to find out maybe where the writers were coming from, or the actors, whoever included the content. It sounds like all were involved. Let's continue. You're nothing, you're nobody. We're at 56 minutes. Alright, you're gonna be sorry. Get back to your house and your Mikey, bahaha, skid-marked laundry asshole. As he lurks and stalks her in the middle of her own apartment, she calls out that she is a sex worker in the eyes of others, so she offers him to take her. This is awful. It's her choice, but she's obviously in the defensive. Not good. Because she takes no value in him or this scenario. You're nothing. You don't exist. You're a fly. She has torn open her dress, and he stalks her, tearing open the remaining. And we cut. Sylvia is looking down the telescope in her. Let's cut that. Her Chinese takeout has arrived and being delivered at her door. Here is delivery man Harry Loom, who is like a neighbor. He is familiar with Sylvia and delivering to her, and she welcomes him. Put the delivery on the table. Are you studying the stars, Miss Sylvia? Harry Loom is the actor. Sylvia, now back at the telescope, can see that this fool is attacking Marg. She exclaims, God! And delivery questions her, saying, God? Add 20%. Very good. Thank you. That was an exchange. I'm thinking Johann could have added, feel free to watch my back, like telling Sylvia as he leaves, looking through the telescope while I'm gone. Like, have my back looking through that every so often while you wait for Chinese food. I'll be back. He didn't say any of that. Maybe that would have kept a more level explanation of things, but maybe it's like the tail of a shrimp. Editor notes, removable. Do you know what I mean? We get more attention if he doesn't communicate. So maybe they just bit into the shrimp and removed some bits. Margaret has another dead man in her bed. Because remember, when she is intimate with somebody, they seem to be dying or passing out or bursting into the universe and becoming crystals or glass-like shards. She is struggling with the recent events and the physicality of a dead man. The UFO vision sees, and we should think that this is how the UFO drains the drug and the addict during intercourse. Like that this moment here is like when that's somehow being beamed up into this UFO. This rock bottom husband is drained. And like applause emoji, like listeners, could you please clap, but don't let go of the steering wheel. Because that is a true villain and predator, etc. Johann is at the door now. Sylvia, with drink in hand, is humoring the set. Johann has apologized, and Sylvia believes that his meeting was met with disbelief. Who would believe a man who is capable of waiting till the shrimp gets cold? Sylvia says. These are really funny lines and also messages. Johann socialize. Are the shrimps her sex or his dick? Or the aliens? I don't know. Yeah, where is the where is the metaphor there? I don't know. She's got a humorous attitude, Sylvia does. If Jimmy is her son, Jimmy is humorless. And right, like, I don't think he is. It's just like a bunch of New York gals are in this movie. Johann brought back a bottle of possibly Berlin liquor and wine. He looks towards the window. Stargazing after dinner? Unless you're going to start talking about your duty again. Margaret is at her patio window with the sunset glare gold from the nearby building. I think she's hollering at the moon. Hey you! What's with these glass arrows? What's with these dead bodies? No more corpses, please. I love that line. I feel like I'm totally showing a stylized desperation. I also have felt like this in my life where it's just like no more bad luck, can I catch a break? And she's doing an excellent job. And she is really broken up and she's really upset, pleading, no more corpses. Back to Sylvia is dining with Johann, asking, it seems everyone is involved with drugs, not just teenagers, but everybody. And now aliens? The corpse of this hubby behind her ass out of her... The corpse of this hubby behind her ass out on her bed disappears with a static surge. And she's thankful. You did that for me? And it's like, again, she's just... Well, I mean, she's a drug user herself, so she's also just kind of out from the partying and the trauma and all of it. Johann gets a Kubrick-lit candlestick as he explains further. Research in the 1970s, opiate receptors in the human brain. The alien is interested. Further explaining, humans have similar structures, similar to opiate, which could be orgasm. Yo. And if you are following, I am thinking the UFO is gaining the orgasm as if it had a chance of gaining the drug or drug user. But it has not been super clear when drug use occurs as well as sex. We have been aware of this last guy's drug use, but we have only recently seen him fuck Marge. And he is dead. Adrian has come back with raw chicken, which must be an artistic choice. This is a fucking awful idea. And NYC listeners have any thought about raw chicken being in your home during summertime? I mean, I cannot imagine playing with raw chicken. Eva, Siri, get me my containment suit. Continuing with Johann, who I think is saying, humans like this feeling of climax and drugs and another orgasm like an alien could also be attracted to humans as well as drugs. And we are talking about a specific drug, and I'm not going to repeat that too many times on the record. Watch the movie, it's a doozy. Sylvia, over candlelight, caps our conversation by asking, does that make orgasms dangerous? And who better to ask than Jimmy in the Midnight Magazine crew as they walk through not a damned locked door, LOL. We're at 1 hour and 3 minutes. We're in Adrian's apartment, which is the main apartment here. And Margaret's apartment. Margaret is not ready, but there is a makeup crew. Adrian and Marg are sitting with raw chicken and a pan of onions. A photographer snaps a pic. Adrian snaps back. You can't go around taking photos of people. Who is this, Terrence Richardson? Nellie, Sarah Carlisle, has question to ask. Margaret is pushing back. She's not wanting this attention right now. Nellie has this beaming color of red hair. It's like Lucy color, only surrounded by neon in the room, and these supporting characters are speaking and showing personality. However, I don't know anyone's name. A hairstylist is biting back at Jimmy. What did you take? Your nasty pills this morning? Yes. Someone offered us, Margaret, some drugs. Jimmy is still asking. Jack is our older blonde. Remember how at the beginning I felt like there were several bleach blonde characters? Well, Jack is one of them. Much more minor character. And may be the magazine's agent, this guy. Jack to Jimmy, don't be impatient. Be cool. A sneak at Wes Anderson rips. We see process on neon black skyline from the patio as the photographers set up the equipment. The patio is perfect, and Nellie thinks this city is really something. Winston Zedmore agrees. The wardrobe is coming out, and all the tags should be tucked as if to say we will reuse them or return them. The teams seems lame. And that's the stylizing crew. I love, I'll shout out, this is a recent podcast. I wasn't listening to it while I was writing this. It's so funny, but shout out to Grift Horse and returning fashionable wares and such back to Wood Grill. Fashionable wares and such back to Wood Grill. The hipster side is coming out as everyone wants drugs. There's even an intern to prepare it. One dude is pressing tape on a small boombox. Jack tosses a baggie. Here you go. Adrian distracts Nellie from interviewing Margaret. This chicken is raw and still out in the room. Adrian has her arm around Nellie, talking jive about telling her about her childhood. Her apple pies. I added that. This scene is something to see because it is audibly bubbling, and the actors are busy like a beehive. Well done stuff, and I feel uncomfortable knowing Margaret's past 48 hours, okay? But it's kind of a rockin' movie, and youth moves like that. You are dealing with shit at the party, or at your job, or after your job. And there's other movies we're going to cover that seem to have the same pockets of drama, and that's not to devalue any of this. It's to highlight and celebrate being honest. Adrian segues us to seeing photo stills of Anne Carlisle for reals, and that's a part of the documentary also, is not only reliving some of these moments, but also tidbits of info like that. Continuing to be stunning, she is being dressed for the photo shoot. At one point there is a green leaf bug walking up to her hair, already colorful and flared. And I'm telling you guys, this movie just gets very, very colorful and very streaky. Flashes are set up on the roof, and I think I can see the UFO still remaining on edge. Jimmy at one point mumbled about not wanting to be in pictures with her. A chicken and was... What? With her and a chicken, and was told, you both look similar, you will turn out great. And that is a moment somebody acknowledges that they look similar, and I'm on this boat saying this blonde hair going on, but we know that the actor is the same person. Shout out to Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler for their award acknowledgments for Sinners. So we see them photo shoot together. It will be Jimmy struggling with Margaret, and Margaret pushing back during a stance or pose. So they're going back to back, but there's got to be a double in there, which is really fun to think about. Someone in charge is requesting the images look simplified, and we get photo stills of her outfits and current photo shoot. which is great and worth looking at. You know, if you just want to skim through this movie, there's moments. The team, however, is less than polished in terms of we are to take this serious or is this off balance. I see it as very contemporary and worthy of criticism that would push the mainstream off, leaving us to uncover 40 years later like, oh, this is a contemporary edge. Nellie is declaring Margaret from a traditional upbringing. You have veered off into some obscure fantasy look. I'm going to take that a couple times. Nellie is declaring Margaret from a traditional upbringing. You have veered off into some obscure fantasy look. You have veered off into some obscure fantasy look. Sanity is acceptance, supposedly. Weird makeup and clothes. Margaret thinks nothing of other opinions. Nellie is wearing what they want you to wear. Baby, Margaret is wearing rags. Nellie asks, who are they? Jack with a drink behind them. America! And then I wanted to maybe add this effect. That MJ, hee hee, ha ha. Adrian brings up the room is represented. Detroit, Las Vegas, Montana, El Paso, Philadelphia. Where are you from? Jimmy with humor. Right, and this chicken is Miss America of the 80s. No, Jimmy, you are. Just like, I think the cast was like, let's represent our city. I really am from Philadelphia. It's kind of like cute indie or whatever, just to like improvise everybody's real city. Our script is wild here. Quips go around the room. I like that a group of misfits gets to express something, even if it's coked up banter. The photo project is becoming a paired concept of Miss America, Jimmy, and Margaret, and someone actually suggests they fuck at the conclusion. I guess it's a fashion tutorial that would play out. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on. Jimmy can't fuck, or he cannot fuck Margaret. He's a chicken, you're a chicken, and, you know, again, this movie is just getting darker here, so I started to really feel uncomfortable at this moment. There's definitely a true bullying, and but you know, it's shot in a way that you do feel uncomfortable, and that's what they want you to feel like. It's being true anyways, so be careful. Margaret warns, please Jimmy, don't start on me now. And yeah, it really starts really mild, but it gets intense really quickly. Wow, this movie is intrusive. Margaret's eye makeup looks incredible. Okay, I mean, definitely we're to the scenes where it's like you gotta skip forward and see some of this stuff. She's putting on this iconic makeup. I haven't even begun to talk about why I got to this movie. This movie has a striking video cover of the movie, and I would see it online, I think because I would always be searching rock music and different things. And don't even like pick on me. Like, I really was searching that stuff, and like an image of this movie would sometimes come up along with other like rock albums and stuff like that were striking as I was looking for, like, you know, cool album covers or asking a certain band or in things like this. And it was one of these moments where it's like, well, I don't know what the movie is called, and it's again kind of it was the original releases of this were very striking covers. You know, they might have gotten simplified with DVD releases and stuff. It's not easy to understand what this movie was called, and eventually I was able to, it just popped up again, you know, like on IMDb or something, and then here we are. I was able to wanted to watch it, and the makeup she puts on is definitely what's being represented on the cover, at least where I saw. And you know, I saw a very long time ago. This and like what I've said before about Dinosaur Jr., it was just like orbiting around me. I just could not get to the core of it and find out all about this movie. So again, very excited to share this with you guys. As dark as this movie gets, it's just a really interesting movie, and I like the artistic expression going on. Margaret's eye makeup looks incredible. She looks strange in the way a superhero looks strange, or someone from the future looks strange. I'm okay with it. And she obliviously And she's obviously a natural model or camera friendly and looks the way she carries herself, and she is a natural beauty, and I don't want to overdo it. Anne Carlisle is pretty magnetic on screen, and it's a really gem of a role. And it's the movie just I feel like I like the movie more and more as I'm distancing myself from it, and it's a charming movie, I think. Jimmy continues to be a prick. Yes, thank you. And the room turns into a nightmare of verbal bullying. And I said, a warning here. The intern asks, why is everyone being mean? And Adrian says, it's just like being on the street. Yeah, Adrian. Which could be a rally cry. I don't know. I'm not a subscriber. Get out, 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 out. A cipher of chicken? A cycle of chicken? A cipher of chicken, name calling, leads to slaps, and the first slap is a hand that could be female, and the next two slaps are Jimmy's hands in gloves, which is great fun. I am only wondering if this is someone challenging by their self-image, arguing with themselves on some level, but my first watch I hadn't analyzed, just saw Jimmy as Jimmy and Marg as Marg. The room pushes the duo into sexual collision. Okay, so everybody be careful here. This is the most controversial part of this movie, and it elevates this movie in terms of the mainstream conversation of it. Margaret gives Jimmy fellatio, and it's on film, and the UFO drains the room of Jimmy in an instant. He is aluminum particle to nothing. This was a nightmare scene, and Jimmy became an awful person to Margaret for no good reason. That is my true reaction to this. Except what others seem to reason, as drugs are here. No authority is coming, so everyone is taking from the vulnerable and taking advantage. Margaret was made to do it, she repeats. This pussy has teeth. No one should fuck me. Adrian is asking, where is someone? Check the roof. What's in the box? Adrian continues to disgust. Adrian, you should leave me alone. I killed the people that fuck me. This movie gets crazy. Margaret is sincere. She knows Adrian is announcing to the room, who wants to watch me die? Humping Margaret. This is classic roommate. Have you ever had bad roommate experiences? This tops the list. Get your sugar cookies. Take a big bite. Get the Dr. P, dump it on your head.
Regis would say, are you hearing this? Or something.
If you haven't already, this is a time to hydrate. She says to the group, Ayo! Adrian offers $300. The photographer is attempting to lower the stakes of the info. Adrian has always been the one painting Margaret with a description. See now, here she impresses on the room of now dreadful fashioned onlookers that Margaret likes, making love more than anything. She is telling people Margaret's business that is her own opinion, Adrian's own opinion about Margaret, and she is expressing as fact, I guess, to this fashionable group. Sometimes it's just their friend circle, the dancers and party goers, that Margaret likes sex more than anything. Very unfair, very hurtful. Adrian is now pulling Margaret to bed. Margaret is a killer. We're at 1 hour and 19 minutes. A music break here. The Ramones. 1983's I Don't Want You, I Don't Want You, I Don't Want You. Bongo Dog, I don't want you, I don't want you, I don't want you. Bongo Dog. Put the kids to bed at your mama's house. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. Continue to be careful if you're watching and if I'm upsetting you with what I've written about this movie. Grab the nearest candle and cushion to put wax in your ears. Find a gentle bar of soap at a reasonable price and destroy your senses. My watch was an edit on this part for good reason, I suppose. I am the only one to deliver such details. I am here as an ally of support if you or someone you know is threatened or attacked. Please reach out, make a connection with a medical professional or mental health support, or reach out to this person, human to human if possible. Please be safe and take care of yourself, and be aware of your surroundings and the people you make dealings with. Circle of friends, acquaintances, and so on. I'm here for you. And I've written these podcasts in order to entertain us all as we deal with some of these things in private or as we're driving to work that may not always be fun. But at the same time, maybe you're on a trip to somewhere fun, world traveling. I also respect that. And hopefully your wait time will be coming to an end and you'll be boarding that transit you were hoping to board. Bring a sugar cookie and hydrate. Margaret was attacked against her choice, and two of these fashion staffers were holding her arms. We saw for a half a beat that Adrian was biting her calf and motioning deliberately dirty. I have to stop there. Adrian is ended with a static sound effect. The onlookers are not fooled. Margaret is released. It is easy to explain she is a killer. You can write about it in Midnight Magazine. She is turning off all the electric, all the neon signs. The porcelain mask has never left the wall this whole movie when Adrian isn't dealing. And that this is one clue I keep holding on to, that the UFO would want what's inside. We are now entering Margaret's photo shoot within a photo shoot. She is very blue with netting as lace on a trimmed dress, and her room has purple-like material, and the light was pushed over and off, shadowing the shard tree that we see now is shards of mirror. And my God, you would not want that in a youthful, active, space is of value apartment in the city. My God, that's dangerous. Haha. All the lights go off. Watch out. Jack, that is not a cactus. She is at her vanity where she sat and demon hubby'd appear from the past. If you remember that scene, that past scene. And I also want to mention, we've mentioned this shard tree as being one of those funny decorations on a set. But it's been toppled over and it's partially reflecting this light, making this atmosphere. And again, think about what that object is. Take a look on the movie. It's insane, but it's also insane the way Adrian treated Margaret. So it's like, it's a dangerous habitat, that room, that apartment, and they
cohabited,
together. And she now has minimal light and small jars of colorful makeup, color glow, makeup tips, and colorful makeup Suggestions can be left in the comments. What is there to think about the 1980s face makeup? What would you like to tell me? What did you like? How did you wear yours? I'd love to hear that in the comments. And how did you relate with the way she's putting strokes on her face? She is processing her weekend and mentioning that she is from Connecticut. And she thought she would find love in a lawyer. And she would be a princess. And they would have barbecues with the other prince and princesses. And they would all say, delicious, delicious. Oh, how boring. Delicious, delicious. Oh, how boring.
Cut the tape. You can't say that in the podcast. Justin, cut the tape. Justin, put the cigar. Wait, that's my cigar. I'm gonna keep the cigar. Nobody put the cigar out. But cut the tape. Justin, you can't say that on the podcast. You can't say it. You can't repeat. Delicious, how boring on the podcast. You can't say it. You got cut the tape. Cut the tape.
Whoa. Who are you? My friend. We're not cutting the tape. We're rolling. You can just scuttle your little butt out of here. Get out of here. I'm recording a podcast. You're insane. Get out of here. No cuts. I wanted to mention, he interrupted. I was about to give you a cultural context. This is 83, shot in 82, whatever. We're mingling 81. Okay, we're about to hit Richard Gere hype. And when she's talking about lawyer, this is all the rage. American Psycho might be a big reference to contemporize this example. And that cultural context is being mirrored of this time. And not necessarily this time, but just like 6 months from this movie. So her meeting a lawyer and Wolf of Wall Street. So not that those are my favorite movies, but you all know the reference. This guy interrupted me. BT dubs. ETC. Let's continue on. She's creating her face in empty space, first wiping a white. Right, because she's applying this makeup and it's colorful. And it's incredibly well shot here, okay? This movie has these pillars of merit and skill, in my humble opinion. She's an independent That guy really interrupted my whole flow here, my friend. Don't worry. He's not going to be back. She's an independent woman moving to New York. To be fashionable is to be androgynous. Be nice to your audience and your agent and your acting professor. Remember that guy? She has feather-like spike shapes of yellow wiped on her cheekbones, and she follows this with an orange, almost red, large wipe on her forehead and a line across her sideburns. Back with a yellow applied to her lower lip, just an ease of drip from the heavier wipes. An ease of drip. She is visibly upset, and the yellow and warm orange is smeared across her T-zone. She was stepped on by her female partner, and male partners tried to teach her. So she asks the room. Most of these staffers stuck around. Imagine no one is taking photos of this. Are Sylvia and Johan watching all of this through the telescope? Are the shrimp watching? Who wants to teach next? Because all of her teachers are dead. Margaret. What time is it? We'll go to the club. Someone exclaims, "What?" She shuffles out to the curb of the apartment and begins waving down a ride. And I love this. You'll have to follow along, but she is being very independent right now, and a crew of hipster photographers, from the photo shoot staff, is following her, but she is only focused on her journey here, and it's very interesting, and it's going to be hard to explain if you're not watching the movie or seeing the actual narrative play out. And someone is asking, "Are you looking for Adrian?" Adrian is dead. It's every man for himself. A taxi pulls up. Margaret gets in and everyone is left behind. LOL. In the club now, and it is a long, a shot, a few second long shot, and you get to see, the folly, but also she is independent, and she should be, focused on her journey here. They can shake off, they can go wherever, and I guess she's not. We never see a shot of anybody locking a door in this movie. That would have been improved. In the club, though, lock it up in the club. It is more of a disco than punk. But we are getting full shots of the lights and the blinky synchronized neon throughout this club, which as an era postcard is pretty interesting. The colors mirror the colors of Margaret's makeup, and she likes it. She is the club. She is the club. For the moment, she finds Lester, the asshole who originally attacked her, and she tells him he's the man. He calls her freaky, but also my captions read Figgy. Friggy. Let's go, Friggy. We're about to come to our sidewalk ending. The sidewalk ending. The sidewalk ending. The sidewalk endings.
The sidewalk endings. The sidewalk endings. The sidewalk endings. The sidewalk endings. The sidewalk endings. The sidewalk endings. The sidewalk endings. The sidewalk endings. The sidewalk endings. The sidewalk endings. The sidewalk endings. The sidewalk endings. The sidewalk endings. The sidewalk endings. The sidewalk endings. The sidewalk endings. The sidewalk endings. The sidewalk endings.
This scene of the club, this club scene, this era postcard I'm talking about is also in a movie I just rewatched. And of course, I knew of this movie when writing this, but I rewatched it. Really fresh look again. It was great. Michael J. Fox in the movie. Bright lights, big city. There is a heavy couple scenes, but not as heavy as this movie, but there's some heavy topics. And it's also a movie that's good, but at the same time, they don't dive right in. And maybe in contrast to what's going on in this movie does kind of deal with it, shows it to you as it could happen, and doesn't, make it, not everybody is, there's ugliness in this movie, and even in the portrayal of characters is ugly. And maybe that's even the American Psycho and The Wolf and Bright Lights, Big City. Maybe you could say that's not as heavy used in those movies. So again, we celebrate this movie a bit. Back with Sylvia and Johan, romance is still accelerating. They have had dinner and coffee, and Johan continues to have his jacket on. Make yourself at home. Sure, update your notes. Now is a perfect time. Sylvia is cutting it up. I love it. Sylvia sits down at the telescope, just as Margaret brought back Lester to be friggy with. I don't want drugs. I just want you now. Diane is doing an Eastwood, which is really sharp. Sylvia is asking about orgasmism, which is where they left off. Aliens have no bodies. Sylvia asks about multiple orgasms, and she likes his body. I feel for Sylvia. She is really putting herself out there and missing the point that Johan is really there to study. Although in moments she seemed truly interested, and that is causing rejection because intentions are crossing. Johan sees the UFO, see this dirtbag, and drain him. He disappears. Margaret is happy. Johan leaves. She may be in trouble. And this is all being passed off. We see Sylvia's attraction and in the moment emotions, and we also see Johan in the moment there to study and seeing that Margaret may be in trouble, and he dashes off with that intention. As Johan makes his way across the street, our hero wife survivor is in the club asking the cool kids against the wall if they know Adrian. Johan is in a really cool elevator shot, making his way to the penthouse. Damn, Adrian! Margaret has been thinking and looking for the UFO, but really she doesn't know what is going on, and editing audio sounds like she would call this force Chief or Indian. Yeah, they must have not known what they wanted to say. she calls it something like force or chief or Indian. Hey, I'd love to hear what you think. Well, maybe, you know what? Leave your thoughts to yourself on that subject matter. Maybe that a part of her makeup we haven't seen. So yeah, maybe they're trying to play in a little bit that her makeup is sort of, I don't know, like war paint. Is that even something anymore? Anyway, we haven't seen her interact with the disc, just dicks. The score has been a lot of filthy organ, and on the last kill, the sound became more electronic and almost Pac-Man, like through a filter. It has gone from tweaked out Pac-Man to deep, serious, sinister synth. Deep as our apartment is, back to red, and Margaret's face is wiped of her loud makeup. She is in a long dress, almost princess-like or frozen wedding dress. A modest room light is on as Johann Hoffman approaches her inside the apartment. Having that dress makes her look a little bit like Jennifer Connelly in the beginning of Labyrinth when she's doing her sort of theatrical monologue before it rains in the park. A modest room light is on as Johann Hoffman approaches her inside the apartment. And I can tell you what's going on. He can barely have her attention. He mentioned he's viewed this and wants her to leave. She is questioning everything and wants to know where they are. Like he can barely, it's wild. He's trying to explain and so quickly. It's very confusing at this moment, but very high drama. I'm so into this movie at this point. Johann, I study these creatures. Margaret, let me go. Johann, my theory is... He has his hands on her shoulders and explains UFO is feeding for sustenance, and it is wanting a substance similar to opiates. This one came for, only found something better. Thank you, Johann, this clears so much up. He tells her similar to opiates is the orgasm. Margaret, well, it didn't kill me. Johann, did you have a orgasm? Margaret, no. I'm here, okay? I'm here with y'all, okay? We're gonna go through this together, okay? But I'm here with you, and we're gonna be all right. She goes out to the patio. She has had a knife in her hand. She is calling for an Indian. Again, it's very mixed up what she's saying here. Don't know why this is in there exactly. And Johann shows her, like, pointing to a star, and he has turned towards her, meaning no harm. I mean this, if you haven't caught on, Johann means no harm. Is he a hero? I don't know. Isn't this an interesting conversation to have about a lot of the characters in this movie? But is Johann a hero? Is Sylvia a hero? I know mental health survivors, mental health professionals can be heroes. I know that much. And drug counselors can be heroes from a certain perspective, I think, right? Meaning no harm. Margaret knifes him in his back. Sylvia sees it all happen in the telescope in her place. Margaret is wanting to engage with the UFO and is saying Indian, but is offering to make love, and the UFO rises. She's upset and pleads, "Don't leave without her." She runs to the porcelain mask inside and grabs the stash, heads up to the bathroom. She gathers gear. Margaret takes drugs on the patio. I've had a trigger warning since the start of this episode. The survivor wife took a taxi, and Sylvia has made it to the apartment sort of together, which is great, framing. Sylvia does a great look of she's here at the same time. They both head for the elevator. The elevator deserves an award. Is it the Stu Award going to the elevator? It gets a nomination. Sylvia cannot make any stops. She is in a rush to make it to the penthouse, and that is where they both are headed. Looks like Adrian is having a party. Adrian? Who's Adrian? When they make it to the patio, Margaret has climbed to the roof, and in the flat of darkness, the glowing UFO and her meet. And she has begun to look into the UFO with the color filter and the two women seeing. Margaret spaz out. All of this is editing and color overlaying, not to simplify things, but to give you a basic layout of the effect happening on tape, you know. That's it. She is zapped, and the UFO slowly heads into the atmosphere. And that's the end of the movie. Here's a hot take and sort of my conclusion of what we just saw. Some of my thoughts, please join in the conversation. Some of my thoughts, please join in the conversation. Margaret gets a fast taper to the edge at the end. With that said, the Margaret character I really, really liked, and she had a moment of superhero Sailor Moon, just for a moment because of her choices. To continue, She had a moment of superhero Sailor Moon, just for a moment. And because of her choices to continue lashing out and killing was a turn to darkness. And poor Johan could have gone free. I mean, poor Margaret also. I really feel for her, but it's an excellent script in the way that it's like a Greek tragedy and all of this stuff. Shakespeare's in here, and I really enjoy that. And I think that's obviously why, you know, it is a worth talked about movie, a movie worth talking about. And poor Johan could have gone free, but her character made defensive killer choices, and her character became harder to like. Flashes of cool choices. Cool, yeah, go to space, but you didn't have to kill Johan. And I wrote this a while ago. I would still say, like, I'm still, you know, Margaret just, you know, probably was not at all in her right mind. It was probably not able to control her choices. And being that maybe an Adrian was her closest friend, so to say, she also had an acting teacher, but none of these people were around. And Sylvia and Johan, maybe the characters with the most ethics, they were in their own apartment. So really dramatic ending here. The apartment deserves a shout out. Quick note for the set design and photographer. However that works out, very key and very key and applause for that. You know, very key for this movie. So much to say about the subject and concept and execution. I mean, the conversation could be endless for this, and I hope you guys liked it. And I'll catch you next time. So tonight's Stew Award, or what was I say? So the episode Stew Award goes to the elevator. I mean, what a great shot. This elevator was crucial and created tension really simply and with minimal movements, and really didn't even speak. So incredible. I couldn't catch how many floors, but I couldn't even believe that Adrian was on penthouse. But I guess that gets you the patio and the roof. But it was just so funny when that was revealed. Like, Adrian was just for real, like, gangster. It was really funny, like, really had money coming in, and also had this like posse of dancers and stuff. And more to say about like breakdancing and the dance scene on other episodes. I'd love to keep getting into that. And also, How Did This Get Made covers a lot of that already with the movies they've chosen. But again, shout out to the elevator, the way it was shot, just excellent. That's this episode's Stew Award, and shout out to Stu and John G from the epic classic episode. Yeah, haha, from the movie White of the Eye. Great episode. Okay, now we'll do the smashing. The smashing. The smashing. Movie moment. The smashing. Moment. Smashing moment might be the best of Margaret putting on her makeup. That makeup brought me to this movie. Just that's part of the movie cover, and the moments she's putting that on. That's definitely the moment we get her understanding what she's been going through, and at moment getting some healing, doing some self-care, doing some creative stylizing of herself, and just really great. Okay. Here's a end credits sort of silly song I have. Let's roll. 3, 2. And then I want to make note here. Crystal Waters. That ba-ba-dee, ba-ba-dow, ba-ba-dee, ba-ba-dow. That song is what we're referencing if you need to have that. Okay, rolling. La da dee, la da dow, la da dee, da la dow, la da dee, la da dow. La da dee, la da dow, la da dee, la da dow, la da dee, la da dow. La da dee bongo dog, 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 la da dee bongo dog. That's another great episode. I hope you had as much fun as I've had. I cannot wait to put out the other episodes I've got lined up. I'll see you next time. The Movie Club Movies Podcast. Don't be impatient. Be cool. Thanks, Jack. Thanks to the Rhythm Box, Owen, Jimmy, Sylvia, Johan, Robert Graves, and Margaret. Please be kind. Please be kind. The Movie Club Movies Podcast was originally created by JustinJustin and his friends. There's been amazing supporters like Raj at 440, L, Will, John G, Emily, Gerhardt. Shout out to TMCMS, Movie Club Movies. Produced, written, edited, recorded, JustinJustin. VHS, Box of Popcorn, Sugar Cookie, Bongo Dogs. 2026.